So hi everyone, I am going live for the first time and I'm also making pineapple tarts because it's Chinese New Year and just want to have a chat while making pineapple tarts. So I'm just going to talk, whether there's anybody here or not. Okay, so basically I'm going to say something really slightly uncomfortable, especially for business owners and people who are looking to do their own freelance or they want to do something, create a business of their own. Talent is not what makes people money. And in fact, I'm sure you have friends who are talented, or even maybe you are very, very talented, but maybe you are not making as much money as you feel like you should be. For those who have joined, welcome. Hello. Hi, Claire. Thanks for the support. I hope I don't disappoint. Anyway, this is my first live stream and I decided to do it while making pineapple tarts because maybe I need to keep my hands a little busy while talking. And then, so today's topic is just because let me just explain very quickly who I am. Okay, I used to be a lawyer a long time ago. And then I went into entrepreneurship. So, I retailed health and beauty products for about 6 years. First, it was through the usual traditional retail channels like Guardian, Sasa, Watsons, John Little, all that. Okay, and I'm making my pineapple tarts. And then I moved everything online because working with big retailers can be very expensive for smaller operators. You're too kind, Claire. Thank you. Yeah, so I moved everything online when Q time was the biggest thing. This was obviously some years back, right? And then we did much better online. So that was my first brush with e-commerce, and that was really quite eye-opening for us. And then my aim is to make like 10 out of throughout this half an hour. I hope I keep on track. Yeah, so anyway, after that, after about 6 years, I took a break. I was a marketing director at a local charity for a while. Then after that, after about nearly 2 years, I decided to open my own agency. And so I have both agency experience for branding and marketing and also real life lived experience for business, right? So I know both sides. And I think it has given me a lot of valuable insight into my work and also how I can help people monetize their message. So basically, when we were doing all our health supplements and beauty products into the retailing, and then we also hired agencies, and the agencies may not necessarily be able to help you convert. Also because agencies might not be able to access certain things of a company, like everything is just controlled by the business. The agencies might not be able to say much, but anyway, my point is, what I've learned is pretty websites don't really convert, not unless you really make the effort to create a whole marketing funnel, then it'll convert. Make it clear, then it'll convert. Of course, we have done lots of trial and error to know what converts and what does not convert, what you shouldn't waste your money on. So after 14 plus years of business experience, 6 plus years of agency experience running my own agency, I am very committed to help business owners monetize their message, because after all those years, this is what I realized what business owners really want the most. And if you are a business owner, pretty doesn't yes. And if you are a business owner, can you just type 1? I want to see how many business owners I'm talking to. And if you are someone who wants to possibly own a business or create a business, can you just type 2? And then so I know what to say or what to tailor my content to you. Okay, thank you so much everybody for joining. We have lots of new joiners as well. Thank you so much for joining me at this hour. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go into it, okay? Today's topic is about how to make some money for your business. Okay, most people think that money comes from skill. While that is only true to a certain extent, what I've learned is money comes from the correct positioning. Let me explain, okay? People struggle sometimes to create the income, the revenue, not because they are not talented. There are lots of people who are super talented, but they might not be making the money that they want, right? Thank you for coming, Hussein, Candy, and then, well, if you want me to say your name, then you need to have a less confusing name than user something, something, something. There's too many numbers. But anyway, thank you for being here. Yeah, people struggle not because they lack talent or intelligence or that they have no credentials. Actually, yeah, what I will always say is that they struggle because they lack clarity, positioning, and your whole monetizing structure. Yes, Claire, I'm waiting for you to do live with me as well. And whoever wants to do live with me, you should just comment. Comment 1 if you want to do live with me, and then we can talk. Or you can DM me directly, okay? So from everything I've seen, there are 3 main reasons why people stay broke, okay? Reason 1, when they market themselves, they lead with ability instead of value, okay? So, for example, if I were a designer, and then people ask me, so what do you do? I'm a designer, and then if I say things like, oh, I can help you make your website, I can help you do your logo, I can help you do your color palette, blah, blah, blah. Okay, those are considered aspects of your business. They are not the benefit. When you want to sell something, you need to highlight the benefit. So instead of listing all these things that I can do, the benefit to your client would be, I can help you convert better. Okay, so it really is, for example, another example would be, if I were the inventor of the laptop, say for example, right? And before the laptop, there were no laptops. So how would I sell the laptop? If I were just going to rattle on all my aspects of the laptop, like, oh, it's lightweight, you know, it can hold this much of memory, it can connect to the internet, etc., etc., etc. Everyone's going to be like, okay, you're going to lose your clients in all these super, super details because it's got nothing to do with them. Everybody wants to know what it has got to do with them. Like, what is it in for me? You know, why should I listen to you? Why should I buy your product? So this is actually, I mean, it might sound obvious, but I promise you, it is not that obvious, especially, and there's no right or wrong to this, okay? Especially for people who are building something. Sometimes we are too close to our own businesses, and then we might not be able to see certain things that consultants or other people, third parties, are able to see better. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just sometimes we are just a bit more emotionally attached to our businesses because it's our baby. You know, we're trying to grow something. Hi everybody for joining once again. I'm just going through just my insights on as a business owner and also as a branding and marketing strategist on how best to monetize your message. And I'm just in the middle of the top 3 reasons why people fail to create the revenue that they want for themselves. Okay. Number 2 is they focus on content, not conversion. There are many, many times I have seen lots and lots of social media accounts, right, with just random information. By the way, I'm making my pineapple tarts while I speak. I'm trying to make 10 by the time I finish the live stream. Okay, yeah. So there are lots of accounts where the postings are quite random. And I understand that sometimes it is not it can't be helped, or there are quite many constraints. Okay, totally understand, and there's no one perfect formula, to be honest. But if a business wants to monetize, or at least, get leads through social media, then it has to be very clear what you're saying and what you're about right off the bat. Like, if people land on your page, right, what do they think about? Do they know what you are about right away? Do you have a marketing funnel? So like, if you, well, thanks for the rose. I don't know how to like send all these things back while I'm talking, so I'm just gonna say thank you, because I'm still figuring this thing out. But I'm so glad to have all of you here, even though you all are coming in and going out. It's okay. I can't say okay. Thanks, Claire. So yes. So that's the thing. See, if nobody understands what, thank you. You're gifting to me. Okay, thank you. If nobody understands what your page is about once they land on it, then, and lots of people right now, because of social media and the way content platforms are set up, everybody has very short attention spans. Nobody's going to spend more than 3 to 5 seconds figuring out what you're about. It's our job to make things easier for everyone, so they don't have to guess. Yeah. So if people have to guess, that is confusing, and then it will make things harder, and it'll make it harder for you to monetize as well. So we need to be clear with the content that we are creating. Okay, I don't know how many minutes already. I think it's nearly about 10 minutes, like my third one. Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining once again. JCLMS, Mr. and Mrs. Q. Hi, thank you so much for joining. Once again, I'm Lise Chew, lawyer turned entrepreneur. I am a business owner, and also I've spent the last 14 plus years in the business world, and also in the last 6+ years building my branding and marketing agency. And I'm just sharing my insights, and I'm sharing my thoughts as well on how best to monetize your message through clarity. Okay, and reason number 3. Okay, they wait to be discovered. So like business owners, sometimes we just post, right? And then we just hope and pray that the algorithm will pick us up and maybe we'll go viral. Unfortunately or fortunately, that's not really the way it works. I think virality is a bonus. I think you can create content so that you can create content with virality in mind, but I don't think it should be your be all and all, because I don't think that it can be consistent, or maybe you stress yourself out trying to be viral all the time when that's not the point. So my question to business owners is, what do you want this platform to do for you? While it might seem like a really obvious thing to suggest, I guarantee you it's not. We need to get clear on the intention of why you want to create this social media account. Welcome Leong, welcome Yin Yin, welcome Marcy and Net. Yes. So visibility without strategy is just noise. And we don't want to be noisy. We want to be strategic. We want to cut through all the noise. And we want people to really see us clearly for who we are, and what we represent, and what we can do for them, and what's in it for them working with us. Okay. So, does anybody have any questions? If you do, you can just type that in. If you don't, I'm just going to just keep talking anyway. Oh, but I will answer some questions though. Like, people have always asked me this, like, do I need a niche, for example? If you're going to market something, you should have a niche. Mochi is sleeping. Mochi is my mini schnauzer. Mochi is sleeping because it's past his bedtime. So are my kids. Yes. Anyway, yes. So do you need a niche? Yes, you do. If you don't have a niche, nobody's going to know what you're about right away. And it's also going to be easier, a lot easier, to build your content and to also build your funnels. Because, like say if, I'll give you an example, okay? For business, right? If I were to say my niche is business, isn't that a bit too wide? Like, okay, what about business? You know, business is so wide. How do I know? How do I know what to contact you about, Liz? If I wanted to work with you, it's way too wide, right? So, hi Hui Chin, thanks for joining. Hi Hero, thank you for joining. Hope you get some value out of this live stream tonight. Yeah, okay. So back to what I was talking about. If I have to, let me introduce myself again, right? I am a branding and marketing strategist. I've had my agency for the past 6 years, and I have had 14 years plus of business experience. And I used to be a lawyer a long time ago. Yes. So, what was I saying? Yes, if you don't have a niche, it's difficult for people to know what you're about and how they can work with you. So I used to always go to networking, and then I will always be able to make a few connections and contacts, and that was not a problem for me. The problem was always like people don't know how to work with me because I wasn't clear enough about my offer. Like say, oh, I'm in business, I do e-commerce, I do marketing, but what exactly, So that was when I came up with a signature service that I have for businesses. Basically, it is Claire, I see your question. I will answer that in a short while. So I came up with a signature service where I would sit down with the client for about 2.5 hours, about 3 hours, asking tons of questions, and then I will come up with a whole marketing and branding blueprint for them. And then so they can either execute it themselves or they can hire me to do it. So far, I have not heard of anybody who has offered this. Okay, and so I become somebody who is known for branding and marketing strategy. Because the thing is, building a website and all that is easy, but you don't want to build something, then have to deconstruct it again because you're building it the wrong way for whatever that you want to build. Okay, so Claire's question is, there are so many people in real estate and so many videos of the same content. So how to create a niche? That's a really good question. Okay, the niche, because property agents are very individual, right? And people go to you because of you. Yes. Okay. So then it is more about highlighting how you market how you approach your business and who you are. So all these things have to come through very clearly. And also, but people will not be able to know you unless you put out content or people already spend time with you. So the point of your social media posts would be for people to get to know you, how you think, who you are, how you work. Say, for example, Claire, if you are someone who values integrity a lot, right? You want to put out content that highlights that. It doesn't have to center on that all the time, but you can make it a point to mention it so that people understand that there are certain lines that you will not cross, and then you will draw like-minded people to you because they know, so people who want to do shady shit, I don't know if I can say shit online, but shady stuff. If people want to do shady stuff, they will not approach you because they already know who you are and what you're about. Yeah. So that is how I would say, how I would suggest your starting point. Yeah. Okay. Do you have any other questions? I'll answer other questions at this point first. So, people also ask me, what should I sell? That's always a big question, right? Because everybody might be multi-talented. You might have things that you want to do, There might be things you want to do. Oh, let me answer you again, Claire, later. There might be things you want to do, many competing things that you might want to do, but it's not possible in terms of resources, time, energy, money, all that. And you can only focus on one. So I would say, don't sell your skill. You should sell the result of your skill. So for me, for example, if I were to market myself, I have legal training, right? I have business training. I mean, business experience. I have business. I have marketing. Hello. Hi, Beauty Sleep. I'm sorry if your name is not on your handle. Can you please tell me your name, because I want to be able to acknowledge you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Brand Vale, and the smiley face person joined as well. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Okay. So I was talking about selling the result your skill creates, right? Okay. So for me, I have so many things that I can do. Just an example. Okay. But if I were to say I can do this for you, nobody's going to care, because it's got nothing to do with them. So if somebody came to me and wants to, like, for example, increase leads, increase awareness, right? So I would say, going back to the blueprint example, because I can create a blueprint for business owners who want to build their branding and marketing strategy with some business strategy thrown in, of course. So I would say, I can give you a whole blueprint, and it will be much easier for you to just follow that blueprint once we are done with the whole process. It will take off a lot of guesswork. It will provide clarity, and all you have to do is just follow that blueprint and you'll be okay. So what do I remove? I remove risk. I ensure clarity for the client, and then I also make sure that they don't feel lost. So because business can be overwhelming, I know that, so my selling point to people is always clarity, holding their hand, they don't feel lost, etc. Yeah, so that's how I would do it. Okay. Claire, okay, yeah, going back, Claire said you want to just continue painting. You see, I think there might be a genius way to marry that with property. Because let's take residential property as an example. People who are buying residential property most of the time, let's just take examples of people who are buying residential properties for own stay, not people who are wanting to rent it out. They want a space where it feels like home for them, right? And you do paintings. I've seen some of your paintings. They're really quite nice. And all these kinds of, are they called soft furnishings? All these kinds of soft furnishings, they do help to differentiate a home and how people feel when they step into it. I'm not saying like you have to hang it out on the wall or anything. It's just more of painting a picture. Like you literally paint a picture, right? It's just more of giving them the feeling that they want in a home, So this one, I think we have to have more conversations to narrow it down. But I do think you can create some kind of, there's some synergy there with property and paintings and making it homely and making it a place people want to come home to, just relax and look at a painting and stare at it and space out. Yeah. Okay. Next question that I have. Thank you everyone again for joining. Thank you Mike C for joining. Join through the invite. Did I send an invite, or does TikTok send an invite for me? But anyway, thank you for being here. I am still learning about live streaming, but thank you. And I'm down to my 5th pineapple tart, and I am almost halfway through, I think. Okay. Okay, the next question I have is, how do I know what people will pay for? If you're figuring out, either you're figuring out what you want to sell, or you have many things that you want to sell but not sure what people pay for. The most obvious way, the most simple way is to hear what people complain about. Complain and complain and complain. Then obviously you just have to find a solution that works for them. That is the easiest. I find that to actually be like a cheat code. Thanks, Eric S888. Thank you for joining. Hi, Jenna. Thank you for joining. Yeah. I'm just going to reintroduce myself again very quickly. I am a branding and marketing strategist. I have had over 14 years of business experience, and I used to be a lawyer a long time ago. And I'm just here to share my insights based on my experience. And I'm also actually building a digital a community, I guess, a private invite community. And if you want, you can DM me the word clarity, and I can put you on the list to join when it's ready. Hi, Carol. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So a lot of times anyway, the question I was answering was, how do I know what people will pay for? Just listen to their complaints. You know, people might be stingy with compliments, but they are usually quite animated sometimes with their complaints. So then that's usually a question that you can solve. Yes, Claire for clarity. Thank you for all your support. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Are there business owners here? Can you type 1 if you are business owners? I want to know whether, like, who I'm talking to. And then, yes. Okay, yeah, I'm on my 5th pineapple tart now. I must have like made, I don't know how many the past 2 weeks, but it's the usual Chinese New Year thing. Okay. What else would you like to know? You can ask me a question. The ones you bake, they are all given away already. Yeah, we bake and given away for Chinese New Year. Yes. Okay. If you're multi-passionate, right? How do you pick niche? If you're multi-passionate and you want to figure out how you can sell what you want to sell, or what will work best for you, I would say pick one problem. Pick one problem and then figure out how to create a solution for that problem. I know this sounds very obvious, like it's like sounds like an obvious, like, why are you even saying all these things? Why, like, you mean people don't know? Well, yeah, people don't know sometimes. You know, sometimes it is not that obvious to people who are asking the question. That's why people like me are around to answer such questions. Yeah. So just pick one problem, one thing, just start one, just with one. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't do too many things, because you will stretch yourself out in terms of focus that you need to build what you need to build. Yeah. Hi, Singer. Thank you for joining. I'm sorry, I don't really know how to read this. Ji by what? I cannot see this. Ji by. I don't know. Thanks for joining anyway. New Life. Thanks for joining. Bargain Kaki. Do I know this Bargain Kaki? I feel like I've heard this handle somewhere before. Welcome to my live stream. And Salim, S.E. Lim, maybe. Thank you for joining, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm just talking about, the topic tonight is about the typical monetizing your message with clarity. But we're talking while I'm making my pineapple tarts, and then answering some questions that people often ask me, and also about why. I think the main topic that we started off is like, the most talented people don't always make the most money, and that is a big question, and that is also something that we can discuss today. So I have said just now at the beginning of my live stream that you might be the very talented, very smart, but you see everybody else who's maybe not as smart as you making all that money that you wish you could make. A lot of times it's really not about smarts. It's really about alignment and positioning, and just going and just doing that very simply and very clearly. It's not about fixing the sexiest problem. Boring businesses make money month after month after month. Laundromats, car washes, they fix a problem, a simple problem, day after day after day, and everybody understands what they're about. So it's really about positioning and creating alignment, making it easy for people to understand what you're about, to really, and how they can work with you to really just bring in the money. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Hokkien Mee, for joining. You can actually use the handle Hokkien Mee. It's not taken, but very cute lah. Hi, Ronald, Brando, and Dev. Shanmugam, welcome. I don't know how many times people have to reintroduce themselves on a live stream, but I'm just going to do it again because there are people coming in and out. Basically, I am a branding and marketing strategist. I have had over 14 years of business experience, and I used to be a lawyer a long time ago. What I am grateful for in my legal training is it has taught me critical thinking. I otherwise would not have been able to get to this point where I can be an effective brand and marketing strategist. Yeah, so that's me. This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I said I wanted to make 10, right? I think 10 is a good number. Initially, I thought I could make 20, but I don't think so. Thanks, Claire, for being so supportive. If y'all want to be as chatty as Claire, please go ahead. It's okay. We can have a little chit-chat through this live stream. Okay. Let me go through certain things. I have a little bit of notes here. Do you have any other questions? Let me think. Okay. So, one of the things that I find a lot of my clients, they do is like instead of highlighting the benefit, they go through all the aspects of the product. Give you an example. Okay, I don't know how many of you use Canva. Okay, Canva, or how many of you were already working or in business before Canva. Life before Canva required lots of businesses to use graphic designers, people who know how to use InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, etc., etc. And of course, those software were quite expensive. Well, not terribly, but still some money. And then, because it's not cheap, and then also you have to hire a graphic designer or send your staff for training, so that they know how to use InDesign, they know how to use Illustrator, etc., etc. And then came along Canva. Canva is a new thing, like 10 years ago, maybe. Don't exactly, around there, maybe. Or maybe even less, okay? The thing about Canva is, what does it solve actually? If you say Canva can create website, it can create this, it can create that, a poster, sorry, excuse me, IG post, content, it can create all kinds of things, presentations, and all that. Yes, you'd be right. Okay, but the whole benefit of Canva basically is really to sort of open source the whole graphic design area for businesses. It makes life easier for businesses. That's what it does. It takes away so much guesswork. It makes things simple. Yes, it makes things simple and easy. That is the benefit of Canva. Makes things simple, easy, and straightforward for businesses to just create their marketing content and collateral. And instead of having to hire a graphic designer, and then it's just, before Canva, it was a very complicated process to get things out, for marketing, for e-commerce, for whatever. And it could be expensive as well. Now, how many graphic designers have lost jobs to Canva? I think quite a lot. Okay, so if anybody wants to, I'm just using this as an example to show you what the benefit of Canva is, because most people, at least business owners or even students, they know how to use Canva. The benefit of Canva is that it makes things simple. That's the benefit. It makes it easy. Do you know, Canva has all these, I think they used to call it magic, those lines that appear when you move an object on a piece of artwork. And then they tell you the lines appear, and then they tell you whether you're centralized or not centralized and all that kind of thing. Those things didn't exist in InDesign or Illustrator. It only existed later, in their later versions. And I forget the term, magic lines, magic grids. Yeah, kind of grids, but there's a term for it. Those lines that appear, Canva has it automatically. It's just there, So, of course, that comes with technology upgrading and all that. But the point is, Canva really made it easy for everybody. That is the benefit of Canva. Not that Canva can do A to Z to Z plus 100. That's not the point of Canva. The point of Canva is it makes it easy, especially for business owners, for students, and all that. Yeah. So, long story short, we should focus on the benefit that we want people to get. Like, okay, another example, okay? McDonald's. What's the benefit of McDonald's? Is it great burgers? No, not really. Maybe great fries, maybe nice sundaes, but all those are aspects again. What is the benefit of McDonald's? Does anybody know? Thank you for joining, Hamida. Sorry, I cannot see. This is very bright. Thanks for joining, Roy. And thanks for joining dips.sg. Yes. So I'm just talking about, yes, for those that have joined, I am Lise Chew and I am a lawyer turned entrepreneur. I have 14 plus years of experience and I have 6 plus years of running my own branding and marketing agency. And I'm just sharing my insights on being on both sides of the coin, because I run my own business before and I'm doing a branding and marketing thing. Okay, this is pineapple tart number 7. Okay, McDonald's. I asked the question, what is the benefit of McDonald's? Food that is fast. Okay, I think it's quite similar to what the benefit of Coke is. Like, Coke is so full of sugar, right? It's not good for you. Neither is McDonald's, okay? Most of the food lah, okay? But if we grown up on McDonald's, right? And then there have been so much advertising, just communications to our brain, over the radio, over the internet, over social media, over the TV, and over shows where you see people eating McDonald's or drinking Coke, and it's always shown that they're having a great time. It's happiness, So you'll be banned by Mr. Ronald. You mean Ronald McDonald? He's gonna ban me? Please. I'm sure he's heard worst things. Anyway, yeah. So The point is, every time McDonald's advertises or Coke is always associated with happiness. That's why we have McDonald's parties. There's a party room where kids always want to go back to McDonald's to have a great time. You know, it's always seen as a treat. You know, it's always seen as something happy. Happy food and then and happy drink like Coca-Cola. It's happy drink. That is the benefit that they sell. It's not the burgers, it's not the Coke. It's a feeling. And once any business or once anybody who is, you know, wants to be a freelancer or wants to do business and all that, once a business knows and understands how or what feeling they want their audience to have, then they have cracked the code on how to approach their marketing. Yes, it's all about emotions, because ultimately we are emotional people. You can go through all the logic. It's like, how do you decide between buying a Samsung and buying an Apple, right? The logic might say that Samsung is probably a better buy, but Apple has such emotive advertising and approach. That's my alarm. Okay, I think I have been live for more than 35 minutes already. But anyway, I've not finished this. Good night, Claire. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, I'm going to finish this up. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I am, like I mentioned earlier, I am going to be setting up a private community while I build this. Well, it's a private access, I guess. Yeah. While I build my community. Yeah. So if you want to join, just DM me clarity, the word clarity, and we'll be in touch and we'll let you know when we're ready. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I am 7 pieces in 7. I did 7 pineapple tarts. So I'm gonna finish up and go. So anyway, to recap, okay, these are the points for branding and marketing, right? Especially if you want to be clear about what you're selling. Recap. Okay. The first thing is, okay, to recap the topic, right? The topic was about how people who are very talented might not be making as much money, you know, as they hope. So, and I'm not speaking from theory, I'm speaking from building businesses, working with brands over 14 years, and watching what actually converts. So usually what converts is a clear message, things that you don't make people guess about what you are, who you're selling, you know, and how they can work with you, you know. So you have to define the problem you actually have. Thank you for the ice cream, Claire. I think you should go and sleep. Thank you so much. You can send me all the gifts and then go and sleep. Thank you so much, Claire. Yeah. Define the exact problem you have. Right? What is the problem that your client has. So what is the problem that you solve? Listen to the complaints, you know, what the people have. Listen to what they wish, you know, that was out in the market. Listen to, maybe they say things like, I'm so confused about what I should do, you know, things like that, you know. And then second step is package it into a clear offer. So if you know that, for me, for example, if I know that my client wants to be able to increase awareness, you know, create more leads, for example, right? Then I help them with their messaging to make sure that it's clear so that they can get the leads and the awareness that they want. If it's not clear, nobody, like I mentioned, you know, people are not really paying attention to a lot of things unless it's something to do with them and like what's in it for your customer. So you have to say it in a way that is beneficial for the customer. Yeah. So you communicate in one sentence. Clarity converts. Just remember, confusion repels. Okay, if you don't remember anything from tonight, just remember clarity converts and confusion repels. So yes. So if you want someone who, so if you know someone who wants to turn what you know into income, you comment clarity. I'm creating something for people who are serious about monetizing their expertise, and I'll invite you when I'm ready. Thank you everybody for joining. It's been a trip, you know. I've enjoyed myself on this live stream. And just remember, clarity converts, confusion repels. And so far I made 7 pineapple tarts. I'll continue to make my other pineapple tarts after this live stream. And since Chinese New Year is just around the corner, I just want to thank everybody for joining. And I want to thank and just wish everybody 新年快乐，万事如意. And for all business owners, 生意兴隆 and 马上发财. Thank you so much. Bye.